Uh-oh, I think we are live. Are we live? Well, we are live. Yes. Hey, y'all remember those commercials with the camera? I mean, not the camera, the camel that walked around talking about, hey, guess what day it is? Well, guess what week it is? It's Camp Week.
Camp Week.
We are excited. Good evening, everyone. I am Tuta. I am I'm looking at Get Better season. I am reporting live from downtown San Francisco, California. We are joined by Mr. Corey Luxner from Westminster, Colorado, Mr. Brandon Cruz up in Rapid City, South Dakota, temporarily, and then Mr. Daniel Young from Kingwood, Texas, who can't seem to get his power to come on. I don't know, maybe he needs to pay his bill or what, not sure.
Always on time.
Welcome, Daniel. Hey, so I don't know how relevant this comment is, but last week I was looking at Nielsen ratings for this virtual study group deal. The ratings tanked. They were the lowest I've ever seen ever. So I happen to not have been here last week. I apologize to everyone who missed me. I know for a fact that this session is going to be better now that I am back. All right.
Empirically, it was an all-time high.
It was not. I promise you. I looked at the ratings and I was
critically acclaimed.
Quality-wise, we could argue, but you can't argue with stats.
Oh gosh. Okay. Anyway, hey Brandon, do we know how to enforce penalties?
I don't know. I'm struggling with it.
I know. I'm putting the box out there for you to step up on it. I grabbed my soapbox and I'm going to allow you the time to stand on it because I know you want to get on it.
We're going to get on it, but we're not going to go right there first. First of all, watch, FCS semifinals. Hopefully everybody got a chance to catch some action. We'll get to the number one team in the country later.
Oh my God.
Oh, here we go.
This game did not involve the number one team in the country. We can get to that later. What this game did involve is this play. And look, we're going to talk about penalty enforcement, but first look at the line of scrimmage officials transition.
Yep.
And on the surface, it's very simple. It's a hold. It's right in front of him. We miss this all the time. I mean, we actually miss this all the time from this very position. We get this a lot of time from a different position. So we're going to go there. But let's just start off on a very positive, great visual transition from this line of scrimmage official, calm, professional flag toss.
Yep.
We hit the preliminary signal. We checked all the boxes of what good officiating looks like on this play.
Yep.
Corey, let's go to the side judge, though. Corey.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, you're at the goal line. Come on. We got to have an opinion on this block, my man.
We have to have the primary opinion. I mean, that's where our eyes should be 100%. I mean, I don't, there's nothing that takes us remotely deep at all. I mean, there's such a quick pot pass that we've got to be out there immediately. If not, I mean, we got to be there beforehand. I mean, we should see this whole thing take place. We should know exactly which hand contacts the defender's body, how it contacts him, everything. We should see every last detail of this and not depend on a line of scrimmage official who is transitioning from one view to another. So when you see a flag pop out on this, if I'm this deep wing, I'm immediately going in saying, man, what'd you see that I didn't? And maybe I fell asleep. Maybe I didn't think it was good enough, big enough, whatever the case may be. Boy, if we don't have an opinion on this, we're just kind of taking up air out there.
So good points raised. I think that look, if you see it all and you like your judgment or whatever of this block, which, like we've said before, we don't care. I care less. Foul, no foul. We should see a little different body language. I mean, this is your initial responsibility, and so I know we cut the video for efficiency purposes. But even the frames we do see, at some point, we should see the side judge coming in and really having a productive conversation with the head line judge. And like even when the referee's given his announcement, there's nobody there. So I think it was great. We picked this up. Maybe a different angle. I don't know. Daniel, what would you add just from recognition and communication?
Nothing. I think you made good points. When I was watching it the first time, I thought, well, maybe he just wasn't sold on it. But, I didn't really, I guess I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, like right here before we cut it, he goes in and gets involved. So, I don't have anything unique to add. Just, I think you guys make great points.
Yeah.
Hey, I have something, because this really raises an issue, and I might take us all off the beaten path here, but that's okay. I really struggle with communicating with another official when I know what their flag is for, but I don't agree with their judgment, although I can understand why they threw the flag.
Oh, yes. That's such a great point. That's the hardest thing ever. That's the hardest thing we did.
This is what my question is. If I'm the side judge here and I see it, I'm like, ooh, that looked bad, but you know what? That wasn't a foul. And then I see the line judge throw a flag. I know why he threw his flag. He probably saw the arm wrapped. He probably saw something else. But I saw the action, and I just don't feel like it is a foul. But I'm not strong enough to tell the line judge, wait a minute, that is not a foul. The guy fell on his own. There was no restriction at all.
But not like a clear and obvious, not a foul. You understand why and maybe it's just my judgment's different, and so it's weird trying to go and get them to pick it up.
Yes,
I hear you.
So let's talk about that. How do you handle that? Because I'm telling you, I still struggle with that, and I do not know the answer to that question.
Okay, let's talk option one. The side judge could come in and say, Mr. Line Judge, or whoever the position is, field judge, line judge, side judge, head line judge, Mr. Line of Scrimmage official, what did you see? How do you feel about that approach? What did you see on that block?
I like bringing information.
Okay.
I do too.
I like saying I didn't see any type of restriction on that play. What, so start with that, then maybe leave with the question, what did you have as a restrictive element? Something along those lines. That may be a little too technically worded,
okay.
But
no, perfect. So let's rule that. Let's not do that. That's why I started that way. Let's not do that. What did you see? I mean, what is that? Or worse, 2 times. Are you sure?
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
What?
Or here's one. You like that as a whole?
Yeah.
You like that as a foul?
Yeah. Don't do that. Do not.
But
absolutely do not do that.
That's why it's so hard, because that's what you're thinking in your head. You're like, oh, you really like that?
Yeah, but you can't say that, because if you say that, you never be a guy an official who comes in and muddies the waters.
Correct.
Right? And that's all you do when you come. You just create doubt, and then you're getting up in your sideline partner's kitchen, and that's no good for anybody.
Correct.
Yeah. And that's what makes this so awkward, because it's not. You don't have. It's not. You're right. You don't want to say that. That's not a good thing to say. But like, you're not going to be able to say, "Pick this up. Here's why."
Nope.
It's tough.
Okay.
It's really
well. Okay. So you're not going to do. So basically, you've laid out 2 options that you're not going to do, and they're on the opposite ends of the spectrum, right? The one I proposed was very soft, and I'm glad we ruled that out. And then we gave like 4 different synonym phrases of what else not to do. So that's good. And then Dan, you said, well, you're not just going to go up to him and tell him to pick it up. That's on the other end of the spectrum. There's something in the middle that is better. What is it?
Well, Brandon, the only reason you will go to another official is to have them pick up their flag. If you're not going to have them pick up the flag, why are you even going over there? Just leave them alone. That's
kind of my thinking. It really is.
Okay.
And now the next play, or the next time we get a break, we go up to him. Hey, man, what did you have on that holding? I saw the arm grab, but and then y'all just have the conversation about it. But if you're not going to tell him to pick it up, why talk to him at all?
Well, so here's the.
I don't know if that's the way we want to.
Yeah. So here's the advocate. I'll advocate for the other side of we don't want to be soft, but it could be so if we're talking about 2 different angles of vision, we're seeing 2 different things. There could be an element that the calling official is either presuming or just misinterpreted that you had a very clear picture of. Yes. And so how do we get to the place where the calling official is saying, yeah, man, his left arm wrapped around his shoulder pad, it twisted his shoulders, and you as the deep wing, just, not necessarily relevant to this, but in general, saw his left hand and he didn't grab anything. No, he and you may understand that there was some restrictive element, but if you can take that piece out and say, no, that did not happen. He did not grab his shoulder at all. It was just laying there. Then maybe the line judge goes, well, oh, golly, that was my category or that was my indicator. If I don't have that, I don't feel like I have a foul. So I don't know how you get there, but as we work through this, I can see that piece could be really productive if you can get to it. I just don't know.
Yes.
I'll liken this when I'm as a side judge, as a deep wing, and I see the back judge fire in for PI on my key against the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately go and ask him, did he grab the inside arm? Because that's usually what you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's a way to go. Because in this play as the deep wing, maybe you don't see that left hand going up underneath the defender. So, maybe you lose sight of that. So maybe that's a way to come and say, hey, I didn't see what he did with the left hand. So maybe, bring the information of what the piece you did not have.
Right.
And maybe that will say, well, yeah, I had him grabbing the defender's right shoulder with that left hand. Okay.
Love it.
I'm out.
There you go, Corey.
That's great.
That's why you are Mr. Communicator on the field. I love that. Yep. Okay.
That's awesome.
All right, very good. So that's really good discussion. It's funny, nobody probably believes us. We don't script this stuff, and I love where we went with that too, Todd. That was really good thought to bring up.
Man, and to be honest, Brandon, that's just something I honestly struggle with. So when we talk about collaborating and we talk about getting better, it's not for me. It's not just lip service. I really did learn something just now. Corey really told me something that I can work on and bring to the field, because I had a play 2 years ago where it was a DPI right in front of me on the sideline. The back judge threw the flag. I knew exactly what he threw his flag for. I did not like the flag, but I didn't know what to say to him to have him pick it up, because his judgment was just different than my judgment. I think we saw the same action, but in my mind, it just wasn't enough. In his mind, it was enough, but I didn't know what to say. So I love what Corey just told me. Now I can go ask about information that I may have missed.
Yeah, because one time you had the back judge pick up a flag and it did. Well, never.
No. You can stop right there, Daniel Young. You stop right there.
Okay, here we go. So good discussion. Let's go into penalty enforcement. Now, look at where the spot of the foul is. Really interesting. The previous spot, you see the down marker right there. And this is, we always have 3 references at the end of a play on a play like this, right? So blue arrow, I don't know how well the blue arrow is showing up, but blue arrow's previous spot, we're snapped at the +8, and it was actually at position 4. Okay, +8 position 4. I'll put up a diagram next. The flag is right there at the 7.5. Of course, that's nobody's fault. It's just it is what it is. And then the white arrow where the ball was dead at the +5. All right, so here we go. We're gonna dive into penalty enforcement and just get ready.
Here we go. I knew it was coming. Everybody, I hope you're ready. Everybody,
a pictogram. Awesome.
Check this out. This is going to be Corey. I know you're
this
loving
dude here. He's so excited. This dude is so excited.
Such a nerd.
What was the previous spot? The +8 at position 4. That's always going to be in blue. So we got our down marker. The spot of the foul. It was 7.5. I think. What are we going to do? Usually we're going to kind of round up, right? Go to the 8. And the end of the run was at the 5, the +5. Okay, so here we go. What's our process, penalty enforcement process? And, just to throw something out, I know that sometimes we'll get some feedback. Gosh, sometimes it just gets a little too basic. But gosh.
Oh, my God. You didn't do that.
We never aced our penalty enforcements. And by the way, every crew you've been on has made a penalty enforcement error during the season. And if you think they haven't, it just means you didn't look hard enough, because we all have every single year. So let's go through the process. What is this? This was a foul during a run, right?
Yep.
So the basic spot, first step is to identify the basic spot. What's the basic spot? Fouls during a run. Not everybody at once.
During a run where?
This play.
Oh.
End of the run.
Yeah,
Basic spot.
Yes.
Basic spot is the end of the run.
Yes.
Correct.
So circle the basic spot. It's the end of the run at the +5. The run ended beyond the neutral zone, so that's the basic spot. Okay? Now, the foul was by the team in possession of the football. The foul is by the offense, and the spot of the foul is where? Behind. So 3-and-1 enforcement. Now we get into identifying the enforcement spot. If the foul is by the team in possession, behind the spot of behind the basic spot. So the spot of the foul is behind the basic spot by the team in possession. We go from the spot of the foul unless it's a blocking foul that takes place behind the neutral zone. That takes place behind the neutral zone. Yes. If we put the spot of the foul at the 8, then we go from the spot of the foul. So we would actually go position 5 from the 8 to the 18. Right here. Okay? So that's how we'd enforce this. So it's very easy to think it's position 4, but it's actually position 5 because by rule, we only go from the previous spot here. We only kind of ignore 3-and-1 if the spot of the foul is behind the neutral zone. Go through the same process. All right. I know you're liking this. Don't kid yourself, Tutal. You're liking this. Previous spot. Where did we snap it from? The +8 position 4.
Yep.
Here's the down marker. Where's the football? We're dead at the wrong color. Okay. We got time. Where's the football? Is at the 5. Spot of the foul now is where?
We lost your audio, Brandon.
Uh-oh.
He's so excited he ran out of his earbuds.
Uh-oh. You still can't hear me?
No, we got you
now. You're loud and clear, buddy.
Okay, good. Spot of the foul is in the side zone, right? So now go through the process again. This holding foul occurred during a running play. What's the basic spot?
End of the run.
End of the run. Basic spot's the end of the run. Circle the basic spot. Circle the basic spot. It's the end of the run. Where's the spot of the foul? Behind or beyond?
Behind.
Behind. Who committed the foul? The offense.
Teammate.
It's a blocking foul. Is the spot of the foul behind the neutral zone or at or beyond the neutral zone?
At or beyond.
At or beyond.
At or beyond. So what do? Let's go from the spot of the foul. Let's go from the spot of the foul, 7 to the 17. I wasn't technically correct last time because you actually go from the spot of the foul, and now if you're outside the hash or the inbound line, whatever they call it, you walk in and place the ball here.
Okay, not you being way too technical, Brandon.
Yeah, why can't you just go from the hash? Know that before you get
5. Everything outside of the hash is 5.
Yep.
I know. Because I'm being technical.
There's nobody who's going to spot the ball in between the numbers in the hash, hopefully.
I was just hoping you guys were paying attention. Okay, next. Here we go. Next. What's the next scenario? Now, you guys are loving this. Previous spot is +8, position 4. There's your down marker. End of the run is where?
Still at the 5.
Still at the 5 in the side zone.
In the side zone.
Where's the spot of the foul?
It is behind the neutral zone.
No.
It's at the 9.
You're at the +9.
Go through the process. Foul occurred during a running play. What's the basic spot?
End of the run.
Previous spot.
No. Foul occurred during a running play. The run ended beyond the neutral zone. Basic
end of the run.
Is the end of the run. Circle the basic spot. Okay, 3-and-1 principle. The foul occurred by the team in possession of the football. The spot of the foul is behind. We go from the spot. We enforce from the spot of the foul unless. There you go. It's a blocking foul by
teammate.
Blocking foul, and that foul is behind the neutral zone.
That's correct.
Then that's an exception to 3-and-1. That kicks us where now as our enforcement spot?
Previous spot, which includes lateral position. This is where Brandon really is getting excited.
Go from the 8 to the 18, position 4.
Correct. That's very important for all of the umpires, center judges, referees, and everybody else on the crew to understand that previous spot is not just the line of script, not just the yard line, but is also the lateral position. Very important.
New scenario. Previous spot didn't change. end of the run did. End of the run is now position 3 at the +5. Where's the spot of the foul? +9 in the side zone. Go through the process. Go through the process. Give it to me. Basic spot.
End of the run.
Circle it. Right here.
What's with these changing colors, Brandon? We getting lost with all you changing all your colors here. Are you showing off?
You should be able to recognize the pattern. Blue, previous spot. White, end of the run. Yellow. You ever thrown a flag? Yellow is the flag.
Your circles are turning from orange to green to yellow to red to all these other colors. Okay.
Again, pattern. You're doing good, Tutai. You're keeping up. I'm really pleased. Pleased.
I think Brandon discovered Red Bull tonight.
Right.
This
dude is amped up, man.
Love this stuff. We've done step 1. If these guys would shut up. We've done step 1. Identify the basic spot. End of the run. It's circled. Circle the basic spot. If you do that, you never miss this. What's the enforcement spot? The spot of the foul is behind the basic spot. Who committed it? Offense.
Team A, yep.
Blocking foul behind the neutral zone. Where do we enforce from?
Previous spot.
Previous spot. Position 4.
Yes.
All the way back here. 8 to the 18. Are you having fun yet? We're not even close to done. Here we go.
Oh, my God.
Here we go. Okay, we can slow down. I know this. Are we going too fast or too slow?
You're just a little excited, but
no, I like it. Keep it going.
If you don't love this, you don't love officiating.
Love the passion.
Here we go. Previous spot, position 4, +8. There's your down marker.
Yep.
Where's the end of the run now?
At the 5, or position 3, middle of the field.
Here we go. Where's What's now? What are we doing with this?
Oh, geez.
This is an interesting call.
Oh yeah, Corey threw a flag.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the flag. That's the spot of the foul now.
Yep.
Okay, so at the end of the down, what do we see? Corey's coming in, reporting the foul, but what do we all see? The football is at the white arrow, right? We got a down marker at the blue, not in the middle of the field, but in the blue. We've got somebody has the lateral position of the football in their hand, so we know that. And we have the spot of foul is Corey's flag at the 1. He adjusted it, so good call, probably. All right, now let's go through
mechanically sound.
Mechanically sound, right? Got it at the 1. What is the basic spot? Same process.
End of the run.
Okay, thank you. Foul occurred during a running play, so therefore the run ended. You just short circuited everything. Foul occurred during the running play. The run ended beyond the neutral zone. Well, how do we know the run ended beyond the neutral zone? Because the white mark there is further downfield than the blue mark. Very simple. Circle the basic spot. Right here. Oh, it's a different color again. Okay, now 3-in-1 principle. Now that we know the basic spot, identify the enforcement spot. Foul by the team in possession of the football, but the spot of the foul is now where?
In advance.
Beyond. Yes, in advance.
So now 3-in-1 tells us you must enforce from the basic spot.
Yep.
Well, since we identified the basic spot, that's easy. Go to position 3. At the end of the run, mark off 10 yards. 5 to the 15, set the ball at position 3. Do not set the ball at position 5, please. Right? You guys with me?
Yep.
Well, then let's keep going. Previous spot. Previous spot is +8, position 4. Now where's the end of the run? Uh-oh, it's over here.
The +10.
Oh.
Position 2.
Oh, we lost the odds.
Yep. Spot of the foul out here on the big line. Good job adjusting your flag this time, Corey, by the way.
Thank you.
Big line +5. Go through the process. Right? Foul during a running play. Run ended behind the neutral zone. What's the basic spot? Previous spot.
I got fussed at the last time I answered the question. He told me I short-circuited, so I'm just not going to participate anymore.
You answered the question before you went through the process.
Okay.
Spot of the foul is by the team in possession of the football beyond the basic spot. Where are we going? From the basic spot. Right?
Yep.
Correct.
+8 to +18, position 4. We've only got 100 more to go. previous spot +8, position 4. Just getting from the. I should have just had that. Okay. End of the run is between the +10 at position 2, last yardage. Now, 8, 9, 10. We have a foul at the +9 position. Oh, wrong way. Right here. +9, out in the side zone. Go through the process.
I think Matt Burks threw that flag.
Yeah, probably. Bat didn't adjust it either. You know,
no, he didn't.
Those that got the wind. You know, those things with dying ducks. Foul was during a run, and the run ended where? Beyond or behind?
Behind.
Circle the basic spot. What is it?
Previous
spot. All the fouls behind the previous spot.
Oh, now it's time to scratch your head.
All of the foul is behind the basic spot. So 3 and 1 says go from the spot of the foul. But we have an exception that we already covered. Right? Blocking fouls, spot of the foul behind the previous spot, you enforce from the previous spot. Position 4, position 5.
Let's go from 4.
4.
You enforce from the previous spot. 8 to 18, position 4. Do not this football at position 5.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. And Corey, while Brandon's getting all excited, let's yank the mic from him for a little bit. Have you? I know one time in my entire side judge career of 10 years was I able to adjust the spot of the ball when we were incorrectly placing it somewhere because I had my down indicator on my hand. I was so proud of myself too. How often do you get involved with that when we're enforcing penalties, noticing the lateral position of the ball as a side judge?
I'll be honest with you, I don't. That's just something that I don't worry about, to be quite honest with you. I mean, it's just something that I've never really focused on. That's something that I can grow from because I never thought Deep Wing did that. But hearing the that I definitely need to do if you were doing it.
Yeah, because I'm surprised. I thought you definitely would have been doing that. Okay, cool. Well, I did that. I was able to help one time. So I guess what I'm saying is to all the side judges who are like in the back nodding off, the back judges. I see some field judges over there just like really like drooling by this point in time. Wake up because we can help with the lateral position.
Now I did it as a back judge. I did it as a back judge all the time. Like I had that, but I've never done it as a side judge. I traded that for keeping the time on my watch, which I know you didn't do. So
I don't do that.
That's our trade-off.
There you go.
Microphone check. This thing on.
No, Brandon, go back because you were doing all kind of stuff and somebody must have muted you or something. I don't know.
No, we're good. I just drew this one up. I just drew this one up without going through it. So they can.
All right, let's go. No, let's go. I like these. Let's go. Go back.
Oh, I already drew it up, but whatever.
Let's start over. Come on, let's go. Previous spot. 8, position 4. Let's go.
Where's the end of the run?
Behind. Position 2.
Look, this is what we see. This is what we see at the end of the down, right? And again, we don't see where the actual previous spot was, but we see a down marker over here. So just visualize this. This is very important. Very important concept. Visualize this is at the end of the down. You see, and I'll start circling stuff. And I know this, like, what are these guys doing? Guys, we mess up, guys and gals. We mess up penalty enforcements every single season. So what do you see at the end of the down? You got a down marker up here. You got the football placed right here. And the spot of the foul, which is a flag right there. So everything that's circled, you visually see that at the end of the down. Get used to this, right? So now what do we have? Foul during a run. The run ended where? Behind. Now we know that the previous spot is by rule the basic spot. This is a blocking foul. Nope. I did what Tuta tried to do. You can't shortcut this process.
What is that about?
The minute you shortcut the process, the minute you make a mistake. Go right to 3 and 1, right? The foul is in by the team in possession of the football. The spot of the foul is behind the basic spot. You enforce from the spot of the foul unless it's a blocking foul behind the neutral zone, which therefore the enforcement spot becomes the previous spot. 8 to the 18, position 4. So we can keep doing this. We can keep doing this all night. Look, I got a blank canvas. Hey, It's all good, man. It's all good. This is what it's all about. If you want to know how big a geek I am, you don't have to know. But does everybody else want to know, or should we move on to play 2?
Well, no. Before you do that, and I love to hear how much of a geek you are because it makes me feel more normal about myself. But umpires, let's think about this. You know, Brandon, you talked about a ball on the ground at the end of the play. We had the last play we showed, the run ended at position 2. So I know a lot of times the ball may not be literally on the ground at position 2 because it could be at the line of scrimmage officials. The line of scrimmage official is going to mark the spot. The umpire, I don't know, is the ball going to go down before the umpire goes to the covering official or calling official to listen in on what's going on with the conversation? I'm talking crew of 7 here. Is a ball actually going to be on the ground at position 2, marking the end of the run laterally? That's my question.
What do you think? What's your answer?
I think my answer is no, but that's something that we need to consider. If the ball is not on the ground, who's going to know where the lateral position was for the end of the run? Because it could end up being important.
In that one, we enforced from the 5. We enforced from the 5 because the spot of the foul was in advance of the basic spot, and the run ended beyond.
Yep.
So I think we are going to have a ball. I mean, I'm very used to seeing that. You know, we got the umpire. And what did you say? The umpire threw the flag or something like that?
No, another line of scrimmage official or somebody else threw the flag, but the umpires come and listen in because the umpire needs to know, okay, well, what are we enforcing here? And is the ball going to be on the ground to mark the end of the run laterally from that play?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be.
Okay.
If we're not doing that, you know, we need to do that.
Well, there you go.
We definitely need to do that for many different reasons. We got a flag on the ground. We got to get the football slotted. What are we saying? Get to the result of the play. I mean, we have to get to the result of the play.
Yeah.
And that is yard line and lateral position.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because we need those 3. And
we have to have that.
Not 3 enforcement spots. I'm sorry. We need those 3 frames of reference.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Do one with end of the run in the end zone and flag in the end zone. Okay, somebody needs to craft a scenario for me because we could go a lot of different ways with this. What are we talking about? You see the question in the chat?
Yeah, I don't necessarily understand either. Dan, if you could maybe say exactly what you're meaning, end of the run in the end zone and flag in the end zone. Maybe he's talking about end of the run at position 1 and flag over at side zone position 5, maybe.
So, okay. Here we go. I think what he means is same scenario, but just move those 2 factors. So, okay, the result of the play is a touchdown, right? So the ball's here. Let's just say that. Mm-hmm. Ball's here. Flag is here, I guess. Right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, mm-hmm. Perfect. So now let's go through the process. Identify the basic spot. This was offensive holding during a run. What's the basic spot?
End of the run.
End of the run. So by definition, if the run ends in the end zone, the end of the run is
the goal line.
Goal line. So the basic spot is the goal line.
Yep.
Okay. Let's go into identifying the enforcement spot. 3-in-1 principle. The foul is by the team in possession of the football. The spot of the foul is where? Beyond or behind?
The same, really, when you think about it.
The same. So if both spots are the same, then that's your enforcement spot. Okay, so basically now we would go, and if anybody has any other, if the run ends out here in the side zone, spot of the fouls in the side zone, it's really basic spot and enforcement spot are the same. Go back 10 from the goal line.
Yep. So what about if the run ends at position 1 and the flag is at position 5, which we may have to question why there would be, I don't know what the flag would be. It could be I guess it could be.
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. Huge takedown with a big delay. Huge takedown in the end zone. Stock block, whatever. Lineman fires out second level. Huge takedown. And then boom, the guy scores later. We could easily see that.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, we could.
Okay. Run ends down here.
Yep.
Flag here. Go through the process.
Yep.
Identify the basic spot.
End of the run.
End of the run is out here. Oh, okay. I'll just do it this way. End of the run's out here.
Yep.
Spot of the foul. Okay, now the foul is by the team in possession of the ball. Is the spot of the foul behind the end of the run?
No, I guess you can't say.
Enforcement spot is the basic spot. Go back 10 from this spot.
Aha. So you would not go from the spot of the foul.
You would not go from the spot of the foul.
That was, I think that's what Dan's question was, and that's really an interesting question because, and I'm glad that Dan, thank you so much for asking that. Because that's interesting. We're not going from the spot of the foul on this play. We're going from the end of the run, which is important laterally.
Yes, and so the basic spot always wins. If there's like the tie goes to the runner in baseball, or better yet, fast pitch softball is a better game than baseball, by the way.
It's a really quick game.
I know. The tie always goes to the basic spot. Okay? And honestly, what's interesting is the spot of the foul beats the neutral zone. We saw that earlier in the earlier scenario, but the spot of the foul never beats the basic spot.
Right.
Are we in the weeds yet? Or you want to do this?
No, I think this was great, man.
I had to do this. I did not understand. I could not read the rule book, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I could not read the rule book and figure this out. There was absolutely no, I'm sorry, that's just not how my brain works.
It is very convoluted how they drew it up.
And, well, thank you, no pun intended, I had to draw it up. I mean, I have to literally draw it up because now I'm on the field, and it's making sense to me on the field, but I didn't know why. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know why this made sense to me more on the field. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, and then I came up with, look, I got a down marker, I got a flag, and I got a football.
So we're all going to watch you next season running around the field drawing circles around everything, right?
Yeah. No, I do this every week, looking at games like, okay, did we enforce that right? Yes, we did. Or no, we didn't.
You know, it's a great point you make, Brandon, because you watch any football game, we will misenforce the lateral position probably 3 times a game.
On average, yes. Yes, we will. So Corey, you had a spring or some type of thing this weekend, and interestingly, to me, anyways, the coaching staff of one of these teams brought this very play up. Am I right?
You are correct. So we were up. I was part of a crew that went up to work the spring game at the University of Wyoming. But before we went up there, they invited myself and the back judge who's working to come in with the wide receiver and defensive back room. And so we sat there and, we watched about, 30 minutes worth of film, which flew by in an instant. But then when the general session was over, the defensive coordinator and defensive back coach came up, and wide receiver coach, brought this play to my attention. And it was interesting to watch the dynamic between offense versus defense on this particular play. And so, obviously, we're looking at the crossing action up at the top, but to see the difference, and if you ever get a chance to spend some time with coaches, with players, and listen to how they talk about the game, it helps us immensely from a communication standpoint. That's why we use plus and minus versus A and B, because if you go up to a coach and say, hey, coach, that foul was at the B35, they don't have any idea what you're talking about. But if you relate to a plus and minus, they know exactly what that is. So when we were talking about the mesh concept here of these routes, and obviously the offensive guy said, oh man, that's a great route, that's exactly what it should be done. And then the defensive coach saying, oh hell no, that guy's just a cheap shot, that it should be OPI and this and that. So I was like, well, coach, we had to discuss the merits of OPI first in relationship to the pass and relationship where the foul, where the contact is in relationship to where the pass goes. And so that really opened their eyes to hear our process. And, even before we got to this play, just to really kind of trade processes, how do we look at a play? How do we dissect film versus how they dissect film? And, it was just really engaging. And it's something that we actually had a good idea come out of it that I'll share with you guys offline. But, in aspect of this play, we broke down, the responsibilities of OPI, who's responsible for avoiding contact, what is allowed, what is not allowed. And then we got into, hey, when we do have contact, when we do have a pick type of scenario, where is that in relation to the ball being caught? And so that's when we started talking about this play, and we can debate the action. I think by number 43 from UNLV, is that OPI? Is it not? We can debate that all day long, but let's talk about to engage the coaches with the process of, okay, the two-step process of, okay, see the foul, find the ball. They had no idea about that. They thought that OPI was OPI no matter what happened with the rest of the play, wherever the ball went, and it was just very kind of eye-opening on both sides. And it was great. I told them I'd go up there and watch film with them anytime. Because even the DBs, when we're talking DPI, the receivers OPI, just some of the stuff that they bring up was really cool. So, but back to this play at hand, we've talked about this two-step process with OPI all the time, and I mean the mechanical switching on this, is challenging as well. I mean, because we do have trips, we have a tight end come out and block, and I mean we have all kinds of red flags that pop up for OPI. But we have to go through that process of what we're looking at. So we have a question. Is that what I'm seeing here?
Well, let's go here first.
Oh, okay.
No, you're good, Corey. Let's keep rolling.
No, and I'll throw it up there, to get us rolling. And that's a really cool story. Man, I agree. We learned there's a lot we have left to learn, but I'll just stop there. Okay, Corey. So you talk about two-step process. And we've got basically proximity to where this pass is thrown as a consideration, and also timing. So what I'm saying, proximity to where the contact took place and then to where the pass was thrown. So that'd be measured in distance.
Correct.
And we also have a timing consideration, meaning, okay, when did the contact take place to when was the pass basically, touched beyond the neutral zone, because that's when OPI restrictions end, and we know the pass is got to be catchable and all those great things. What's important to you about those two considerations? None, one or the other, or both?
It depends. I mean, it depends really on your category of OPI. And I mean, when you're talking about a pick, like in this one, your distance and timing, they're both going to be equally important. But there's also a third component that who is being picked and what impact did it have on the play. And so this DB getting picked had no relation to this play whatsoever, because neither the receiver he was guarding caught the ball or the receiver that he was next to caught the ball. So that would be probably my overriding factor in this type of a scenario. And
I like that, but honestly, that really gets into my proximity factor, honestly, because you're right. There's no impact on where this pass is thrown by this contact.
Correct.
We're saying the same thing, just using different words, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But that's exactly where I was going with it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where I was going with it. Because obviously, if quarterback throws right off this block, okay, proximity is a huge deal, because that's exactly the block that set this guy free, the pick that set this guy free.
Right.
But no, Brandon, what Corey's saying, if that dude was running in the opposite direction, if the defender was actually running from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen, and the contact occurred in the exact same spot, and the pass went in the exact same spot, Corey would likely have a different opinion on the impact of the action. I think that's what Corey is saying.
Yeah, when I think of proximity, I think of where the pass is thrown. When I think about the player that is being picked, that's the impact. What did it have the impact to create an opening, to create an advantage for a route, coming open? So when I think proximity, I think of, all right, was that pass close to that? Was it not? So
Yep, all good.
Okay.
Keep rolling.
Okay.
Good clarification.
I mean, but those are things that we have, and that's why we coach this two-step process, not only because we need to see those pieces of information, but we really got to slow down with this. I mean, we have to process all that. And I think so often that when I see a mechanical mistake with OPI, it's we see the contact and out comes a flag. We don't take the time to find the ball. And if we're not finding the ball in an OPI, we're just guessing. I mean, we're just throwing the flag because we saw contact and hoping that, hey, I hope the timing is there. So it makes it more difficult if we don't follow this process. And OPI, I mean, we were talking about that in that room that, OPI is a drive killer and a DPI foul against the defense is a drive extender. And so either of them are huge. I think OPI is probably a little bit more punitive, but that's just me. I think that, there's very few teams that come back from an OPI during a series. So the question is, what is if the QB looked at the crossing route open because of the pick and then threw the out route at the top?
Now we're talking timing, and that's where I was going to go next. Yep. Relative to the delay between that contact and then when the pass is touched beyond the neutral zone, because that ends OPI restrictions. So maybe you can break that down.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking there and then you go to find the ball and you see that quarterback coming off of that read, which you can easily, I mean, I think it's something that we have to be adept at doing as deep officials, even line of scrimmage officials. If you see that and you look back and say, oh my God, that quarterback just came off that read, that's a different story, because then that's disrupted the timing of that defense being able to cover the play. Now, we still have to follow that two-step process. We still need to have that ball come out somewhere. And, Derek is asking what we mean by that two-step process. And Derek, it's simply this. You see the action that you are that you're getting to render a judgment on whether it's a foul or not. You see that action, that's step one. So you're seeing action that rises to the level of a foul in your opinion. Step two, you've got to locate the football. And by that, we're going back to the quarterback, or if the ball's in the air and say it's completely, say we have a blocking downfield at 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage and we throw a 40-yard deep pass, that isn't, to me, that's your two-step process. You're finding the ball's in the air. Then you have to put those together to say, okay, what impact, if any, did that block at 5 yards down the field have on a straight bomb 40 yards down the field? Hopefully that makes sense.
So, and then I'll put it another way, and Daniel will say, stop talking about OPI. But I'll say this, so the more of a delay there is between the contact and finally when that ball's thrown out, you're talking two-step process, and that's what I'm talking about too. The more of the delay, the longer the distance it can be and still rise to the level of a foul for OPI. You see what I'm saying with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Maybe you can articulate that either the same, differently, or better, or all of the above.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think I can do it differently or better, but just emphasize it. That as a route tree develops with multiple receivers, and a pick like this happens on whatever and on outside the left hash, and the quarter and those routes continue to develop, especially when we're dragging from all the way across the other side of the field, that delay becomes a significant factor. And I don't know what the relationship looks like in terms of how, as the delay grows, then maybe as the delay grows, the potential for it to be a foul grows. But I think just to make it simple for those of us that are still working to become really proficient at OPI, is if you have like this, and this is there's a delay here, but this ball is so far at the sideline, the delay's not big enough. And maybe I'm making it more confusing. But if you're in debt, if you have a delay, if we got a delay,
let's not shy away from it being confusing, because it is.
It's
a very complex process, especially in real time.
It is. We just need to understand that if we have a delay between the contact and the foul, the foul, the potential foul, and the ball where it's thrown, even if the ball's really far away, you have to consider the delay. And if it's a significant delay, we can absolutely still have a foul for OPI. And even though this principle of proximity is relevant, as the delay gets bigger, how relevant the proximity is becomes smaller. Maybe that's an easy way to put it.
I mean, I like impact more than proximity all the time. I just think, proximity is such subjective. I mean, I guess they're both subjective, but, what impact did that action have on the play?
I agree with you, Corey, in principle. I really do. Here's what concerns me as we talk about impact. As that delay becomes bigger, it's harder for us as officials to maybe understand the impact, right? When we're talking about routes crossing and we're talking about maybe a play has broken down now and receivers are breaking off their routes towards the sideline and back towards the original line of scrimmage, we may not have a great understanding of what that impact is. So I absolutely agree with you. That's much more manageable for us during the play. But I think there comes a point where that delay from the potential foul to the ball coming out is so big that maybe we're not going to understand the impact, and the proximity may be totally way far off. And I think there's going to be times where OPI is still appropriate because of the impact, because of what you said. The impact is there, even though proximity is far away. And we may not be able to connect to that exact impact. Does that make sense what I'm saying? We may not be able to look at the film and say, oh, well, look, he's playing man, and so that's why this is an impactful pick. But because the delay was so significant, the foul may still exist.
Yeah, I mean, in hearing you talk about it, I think it's for me, it's impact, and then, all the subsets that go into impact. So proximity, timing, all that type of stuff, I think are all subsets that help us to determine the impact of an action. And so, because I agree with everything you say, it was just I kind of had it, in a different type of box. But I think, I think we're all on the same. You and I are definitely on the same page with that. So,
you guys are, and this is great because what you're really driving at, and the great question in the chat from Tito, we're all driving towards advantage disadvantage here, right? And so all these factors impact delay, timing, proximity, coverage. By the way, you guys, is this man or is this zone? I mean, is he guarding that guy? All of these factors that we're asking ourselves as we look at the play for the 10 zillionth time, we have to put those together in the blink of an eye to determine impact. And basically what we're saying there is advantage, disadvantage to does this rise to the level of foul or not, right? And that's what the beauty of what we do is and how complex this really is.
It was a great play when he brought up a spur of the moment. Like, man, this is a good play. We need to talk. Why haven't we found this one? It's just, there's so many. I mean, we could spend an hour just talking about the mechanics and the components of OPI and the ruling behind OPI, and we can go down this rabbit hole all night long.
I mean, even without the pick, if we take away that receiver and defender and he extends his arm out onto that linebacker and we get a pass right under that, we're going to have to make a decision about, did the defender move into him? Did he try to disengage, or did he ride with that? I mean, that's going to be a consideration as well.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Swimming off it, or is he driving through that? I mean, is he running his route? Is he not? Golly, that's why I think, historically, as we were fed statistics several years ago and started to monitor trends in our programs, OPI was one of our most inaccurate codes in terms of how it was evaluated and how we called it.
Yep.
Okay. But training, putting these categories in, the accuracy rates have increased by whatever, measurement system you want to, if we trust it, whatever, that's a whole other topic. But the measurement system, whatever it is, has shown an increase in accuracy. And it's just because we've had more conversations like this.
And it's a harder foul to get. And, the way I explained it up during this meeting was that, DPI is a reactionary foul. And then I said OPI is a coached foul, to which the wide receivers coach just kind of stood up out of his seat.
Yeah.
But then he started laughing because he's in essence said, damn right. We have to. We're trying to find those gray areas. So it's hard for us to see that. I mean, this is a very subtle move by this tight end, but it's something that we need to see.
So we have questions about illegal blindside block. We had a couple of questions about that. Do y'all want to discuss could we evaluate this as an illegal blindside block?
Who wants it?
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. So I think when we evaluate that, we have to take the totality of the play into account. First of all, we need to ensure that number 45 is actually contacting that defender intentionally with the block. versus fighting off the defender who he's jostling with. And I'm not passing my judgment. I'm not saying what I see. I'm saying that's what we need to judge, and we need to make sure that we see all of it. We can't just see the defender go flying and say, "Oh God, that's a blindside block."
Right.
We have to make sure that we understand the intentionality of the blocker, and what happened. How did he get to the contact with that defender? But if we talk about elements of illegal blindside block, I certainly would say that this defender did not see this block coming, or was in a position to protect himself. And I would certainly call this, if I said this block was intentional, I would consider this attacking and forcible. But I don't know if I'm on an island there.
No, you're not, because that's exactly. I wanted you to go first because we had this very conversation after we got through the OPI aspects of it, and I was like, I'd actually like this more. This would make my antenna go more for a blindside block, and the coach said, well, that's not from the side. And I'm like, I know it's not from the side, but don't get stuck there. There's more to that rule,
right,
than from the side. And they realized, like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And so I think they were both offense and defense were in agreement that this would be a blindside block, that that they could see how someone may come to the determination that this would be an illegal blindside block.
Right.
Let's change gears. Let's change gears.
Oh boy!
Now we can talk about the number one team in the country.
Oh God!
What? Oh,
What?
Let's do something a little different. Back in the spring, wait, I can't say that anymore. That was 2 springs ago now. We got a little ridicule about being too replay focused, because a lot of games at one level or the other gets replay involved. And it's interesting feedback, which we really took to heart because we wanted to make sure, we weren't just doing this for ourselves. Although, well, we kind of were. We were just talking football, exchanging ideas. So we went away from a lot of replay stuff. I mean, I know we do targeting and those kinds of things, but we don't really go heavy into replay. But it's like this play popped up, and I just thought it would be a really great opportunity to talk replay process. Because here's the thing, I would venture this, and you guys just check me on my thought here. Everybody on this call right now, you're on this call trying to grow. We're all trying to grow and improve our practice. If you haven't worked with instant replay yet, you will. There's a very high probability that you will. Do you agree with
that? 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I mean, not only are you going to continue to improve and grow and all that, like we all hope to, but replays come into every level, whether it's the postseason or whatever it is. So, just go with it here and lean in and let's get better. So, okay, let's talk about replay process. So, Tuta, how would you hope that your crew? I'll just keep it abstract for you. How would you hope that your crew would kind of work this and communication on the field? Forget about the replay official for a second, but on the field communication, and then are you going to give an announcement on
that? First of all, yes, I would give an announcement. What I would hope is that we let this play out as it looks like we did. And then I would hope someone comes to me, because this would be one where I'm looking at the quarterback, and I would expect, although the line of scrimmage official is responsible for forward progress, the referee and center judge, if you work in 8, or just the referee if you work in 7, is responsible for action on the quarterback. So I would hope that someone would maybe look to me first to see, wait, were you ruling him? Did you say his forward progress was stopped? Did you have, what were you thinking about this quarterback? And then maybe we have a quick conversation. But then as we're letting it play out, I can tell on the field that neither one of us had the quarterback down, or I didn't have the quarterback's forward progress stop. Although that may sound like something ridiculous on a play like this, that is something that we could potentially say, you know what, his forward progress is stopped. Let me kill this and let me blow this play dead. But that's not what happened. I'm just throwing a scenario out there.
Sure.
But yeah, we would let this play out. And what I would hope at the end of the play is, since I'm standing right next to my line of scrimmage official, I would say, you had the ball out before his knee was down, right? And he was like, yeah, I didn't have him. I didn't see the ball, and I just saw it pop out. I'm like, okay, cool. The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. Boom. And then we would, I don't know what down it was, so I missed the down. Maybe I would say the down.
That's okay. That's okay. You might not actually. No, you would. No. Well, if you're saying the ruling on the field is a
well,
fumble,
it has to be first down. That was a stupid statement. Wow.
Change of possession, first down, South Dakota State.
That's correct.
And I don't know if anybody realized that's the number 1 team in the country. Okay. Up in the replay booth, what's happening? So it's turnover. Yes. So the ruling on the field is a turnover. So the mechanics on the field.
Whoa, Brandon.
Okay.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense.
Yeah. I'm using slang. My bad.
Okay. Yeah, let's not use slang.
That's okay. So on the field, we know that, game with TV, okay, maybe they want to take a break. If this occurs with the defense in the plus territory of their field, we're not going to allow that break because it's a huge momentum play. If it occurs more on the minus territory relative to the defense, we might allow the break if we need it, blah, blah, blah. That's okay. Either way, we're not going to blow the ball back in ready for play until we get cleared by our replay team.
That's correct. That's correct. So in this case, we would not. We would be standing. I don't know what you do, Brent. Do you actually stand behind the snapper as a referee, or do you have the center judge holding the snapper up?
Both. I stand with the quarterback. We actually have a lot of shotgun quarterbacks, as you very well know. So yep. I mean, I'll stand with the quarterback. Center judge will be with the snapper.
Yep.
Umpire is probably talking with one of the other linemen, and it's always funny to me in these kinds of situations because these linemen come out and they get in their stance and they're ready. And it's like, hey guys, I mean, I just don't want you to cramp up. You see, just relax. Just relax. Like, we don't even know if we're stopping the game. Certainly the ball's not ready. You're not even into your cadence yet. And it's really interesting too. With coaches, they're like, "What's going on?" Because they don't want to reveal their package for their next play.
Right.
5 wide receiver set, double tight end, whatever it is. But that's all down very many different rabbit holes. So it's all good. Okay, so we're preventing the snap until we get cleared by instant replay. So what does that mean? The two really methods of communication, right? So one is if we're fortunate to work with an O2O. One of those systems is up with what's called our communicator up in the replay booth, and we could hear an all clear from him. And simultaneously then we have what's called an SRA, sideline replay assistant, over kind of usually on 120-yard line or another, usually on the press box side, but not always. Okay, just got to know where they're at. And the SRA is going to give us what we would recognize as an iron cross signal. And what that means is that he's heard that we're all clear from the replay booth to play on. Okay. If we don't get those, then likely we're going to have a stoppage. So right here, Tuta, I'll stop the game. Okay. So stop the game, stop the game. So now you're getting, we still for some reason have pagers. I can't figure that one out.
I know.
We have pagers. So we get paged. But we're also hearing it in our ear. Stop the game.
Right.
And by the way, that SRA could save us here if for some reason if the pagers fail and the O2O fails, the SRA has a whistle. Yep. And we'd be instructed to blow his whistle and run out as if, it's like almost like a line of scrimmage guy killing the play for a coach calling a timeout right tight to the snap. Yep. That's what we would want the SRA to do, is to raise all kind of heck about getting the game shut down.
Yes.
So really 3 ways potentially to stop the game. So we're stopping the game. Now, what are you going to, as a referee, what would you do now?
First, I want to back up, Brandon, because we do have some replay officials that are on, and I want to communicate this, which is something that is a really big sticking point for me. Please, as the replay official, do not stop the game until the crew on the field has completed all of their work and we have a ruling on the field. And I know Dean Blandino, who is the supervisor of replay official, he gives tremendously informative, great training videos. So if anybody has not had a chance to do that, I would highly recommend watching some of Dean Blandino's videos on instant replay. And he is so process oriented. Of course, he's a man after our own heart. And that's the number one thing. If you are a replay official, if you don't have a ruling on the field, you literally cannot press that button to stop the game, because your job is to review the ruling on the field. of course, there are situations where the replay official can get involved if there is no ruling on the field. We're not talking about timing situations. We're not talking about 12 on the field, kick. We're not talking about those. We're talking about situations like this. Your job is to review the ruling on the field. So to back up to what you asked me, Brandon, what would I do? If I was paged in this situation, I know why I was paged, because I know this is a really tight play. So what I would do is flip on the microphone and say the ruling on the field of a fumble recovered by the defense is under further review. And then I would run over to the microphone. To the headset.
Yes. So the same, we talked about the SRA sideline replay assistant, the same person that we said is our emergency, press, blow the whistle, kill. That is also the person responsible for the replay equipment
That's correct.
on the field.
That's correct.
So this, very important part of our crew, underrated, by the way, and they all do a really good job from what I've seen. I think we're fortunate in our league for sure, but very important that they do a great job. So they keep the equipment in working condition, and then when the referee gets over there, everything's ready to go. Right, the microphone's on, the volume is proper, and all of that. So now you're putting the headset on. If it's okay, and maybe you don't want me to do this, but I'll be your replay official.
So before that, though, Brandon, if we're talking about, and are you doing screen share?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, thank you. I was doing something else. All right. Before that, if we don't necessarily know why the game is stopped, what I like to do as a referee is I like to ask when we get paged. I would ask really quickly, what are we looking at? And hopefully the communicator will be able to tell us, so that when I turn on the microphone, I can say the previous play is under review to determine if there was a foul for targeting or something like that, because that's most of the time when we stop it and we don't know why, it's because of targeting or something else, So I like to say why we're stopping the game to review, rather than just turning on the microphone and saying the previous play is under further review, because then people wonder, well, what are we reviewing? Well, why are we reviewing? What are we looking at? So I like to say that. But okay, let's go forward to I'm under the hood. I have the headset on. You are the replay official.
Oh, you're under the hood. What does that mean?
Well, I guess I probably shouldn't say that. I'm looking. Some conferences have a tablet on the sideline that has a little bitty hood on it. You're not really under the hood. We're standing there looking at what the replay official is looking at the same time. Okay,
Tuta. So I'm the replay official. So usually when you put the headset on, and I love our replay officials, they really do. Hey, can you just one more time confirm the ruling on the field for me?
Yep.
And you would. And so now, so the ruling on the field is fumble recovered by the defense. Yep. My job as replay official is very clear. Very clear. And it's not at all to re-officiate the play. My job is to prove you wrong. Correct. I got to find indisputable video evidence that the runner was down with control of the football.
And that's very important what you just said, Brandon, because what you did is you spoke explicitly of what your job is and what you're looking at relative to the ruling on the field.
Yes.
So you have to see, is the runner down prior to losing possession of the football?
There we go. Okay, so what's my process? Replay official, what's my process? I need to find a body part down.
Yes.
First, if I find a body part down, like right here, check it out. Knee is down. I can absolutely know the knee is down. But what's missing?
The ball.
I don't know what the ball's doing. So this is one angle. Got to find a different angle.
That's right.
Got to find a different angle. So I know the knee's down, but I don't know the status of the football when the knee is down. Oh, great! I got another angle here. As a communicator, by the way, you're communicating with TV production.
That's right.
To understand what all angles are available.
Yep.
So replay official, you're manipulating the video like this. I mean, better than this. But communicator, you're on a landline phone, believe it or not, with the TV producer.
Right.
And they exchange cell phone numbers as backups. There's all these backup communication protocols that take place before the game so that when we go to replay, communication is never going to be an issue. Okay, so I'm still the replay official. Okay, Tuta, you see his left, is that his left shin?
Right shin.
Right shin. You see his right shin down right there? Yep. He's definitely down. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I'm actually in character right now because this is how frantic it is. No, okay, and I'll say, Mr. Replay Official, what do you mean he's down? I see a shin down. That doesn't mean, oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just under the gun here, and I got all people calling me. Okay. So, again, this angle, this doesn't do me any good, does it?
No, because we don't see the ball.
We still don't see the ball. Let's look for a different angle. Does TV have any other angles? Give me more angles. Give me more angles. Give me more angles. Oh, this is a different angle. Okay, let's see what this angle gives us. This is a handheld. So now you're hearing, as a referee through the headset, you're hearing, I'm looking at the handheld camera G or something.
Right.
Okay, there's the, oh, okay. Now when I see, look, yeah, I know we kind of blur there too, Todd, but look, I see this is kind of when his knee's down. Here's the ball.
Yep.
Gosh, I certainly can't. I have nothing here that tells me that he's still got control of the ball. It really does appear the ball's out. It's blurry here, and this just happens with handheld cameras especially. So you got to know that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let this stand. I certainly have nothing to reverse. That could be him moving the ball in his control. I'm just going to let it stand.
Okay, so we're good with the clock and the ball position. Everything else is good, right, Brandon?
Excellent. So now, what does the replay official do if he forgets? And I like how you take control. Referee, take control. When the replay official makes his decision, he does a big exhale. He does big exhale.
That's right. And it's not over.
Our job is not done.
No.
Let's go back to the line feed. Let it play. Ball's loose. Okay. Okay. Just confirm for me too, Todd, that the clock is set at 3:49.
Yep.
We'll set at 3:49, and it's first down. And where do you guys have the ball placed?
Position 1. Should be at position 1.
Should be at position 1. We just want to confirm that all this data is correct, and it should be at basically the minus 21. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All that's correct. Yep. So really on the field stance. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And then I put the headset down. I step out. The ruling on the field stands. First down, South Dakota State.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily. For me, and you might have to say something different, Brandon. For me, when it's a stands, I don't get into all of the descriptors. I like to just be very simple. It stands because we don't have a lot of description to really give.
Nobody
ruling on the field stands. First down, South Dakota State.
What do you have to describe? We already said we ruled a fumble, recovered by the defense. First down, South Dakota State. Okay, now the ruling stands, so we haven't changed anything. Let's put the ball down and let's get back to football.
Right.
Okay, so that's a very extended simulation of how that works. But what would you add anything that we missed in that?
Yeah, no, but I wanna highlight what you talked about last and the segment that we did last. And you and I were on a game where we learned this very tough lesson last year. When we are making sure we reset the clock, the game clock, there are multiple clocks on a replay official screen, believe it or not. Let's ensure that we are using the line feed TV clock for resetting the game clock purposes. Let's make sure we are using the line feed TV clock for resetting the game clock.
So that's why if the replay official gets involved in a clock, either confirmation, reset, whatever it is, he goes to this screen right here.
Yes. And
what does the clock say? Because
49.
Right. So up here above this red arrow, there's going to, on a replay on this, usually on the software system we use, there's going to be all kinds of numbers up there.
There's all kind of other crap.
And those are really just software timestamps.
Yes.
To catalog plays and record data for later. But we don't want to use anything that remotely looks like a clock from above the red line. And we found that out the hard way.
Yes, we did.
Don't Google that. Okay, good. All right. You know what? I think that's just different than what we normally do. So I don't know if that was beneficial or not, but it sure is a lot of fun just to walk through simulations.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have to come here to do simulations. Do your own simulations. All these plays are available, so do your own.
Brad Roth, first of all, thank you so much Brad submitted this play. We have some interesting action on this play. So really, the point to talk about on this is how do we work visual mechanics when we have a play that really reverses field? And what was that? About a month ago, we did one. Was that at Stony Brook, I believe the school was, where we had a potential illegal block below the waist on a play that reversed field. Here we have more potential action, two different potential fouling actions on this play, one at one hash and one at the other hash. So we just need to talk about visual mechanics on this. And in this play, the back judge, and Daniel, I don't know if you want to communicate anything here. I know you're still having some issues with your power. The back judge had a flag on the ground for illegal blindside block by number 2 of the offense up at position number 5 after the play reversed. There's also some questionable action at position number 1 soon after the runner reverse field. So how are we going to work this from a visual mechanics standpoint? Brandon, I don't know if you have screen share for this.
Yeah. Daniel, are you with us technologically?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, great. Welcome back. Okay, cool.
For the moment.
Look, yeah, exactly. I'll just share it, and then so basically the runner has just started to reverse field at this point. Okay. Where do you want to start, Daniel?
Well, I think just with basic principles is always a good place to start. So let's just go, we can go position by position. I'll start with the back judge. Remember, our fundamental responsibilities on run plays is going to be getting in front of the runner and then working from an inside out orientation. So when the runner reverses field, this may be a little elementary to say, but when the runner reverses field, we need to do the same thing visually and start looking for the blocks that are going to be in front of the runner, looking for the inside out. So I think right now, and listen, it's hard depending on where you are visually on your block. You may not know, or when you know the runner is reversing field, could be up in the air, right? If at this point as a back judge, I've already identified that the runner is reversing field, man, I've got a great block to work right here at the 20-yard line. It's out in front of the runner. It's inside out. It's going to be relevant as the runner is now trying to get outside and upfield. So that's where I would start. And then if we just progress the video a little bit.
Yes, sir.
So, man, that's something we're gonna have to make a decision on that. And then, the challenge, the next level we're trying to get to, even myself included, is, okay, let's make a decision on this. Block in the back or not a block in the back. But guess what? The play's not over. So now we got to immediately continue to officiate, and that is find another block that's going to be relevant to all of this.
Especially the earlier we are in the change of field transition, the more blocks we're going to have to transition to. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is super early. This is like the first block after the change of field. So it's likely from a probability standpoint, there's going to be like 5 or 6 other blocks to work.
Yeah. And on this particular play, it's factual. Like we've got a lot, and we're going to see one right here coming up.
So, Daniel, you can't be a person like myself who sits there and harps on every flag and every action that they see on the field and get caught up just talking about 79 and did he block him, did he not? You really have to move on. You have to I think we had a good – what was that guy's name? Dr. Pat somebody. He told us to park it and something. So we need to I don't remember what he said, but we need to put this action to bed and move on and find something else to work. If whatever our judgment is, whether we think it's a foul, whether we don't think it's a foul, we need to move on from that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't remember Dr. Pat Ivy saying that, but
that was him. Dr. Pat Ivy. Park it and something was his deal.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But I feel like you don't do that during the play. I feel like you like to do that after the play.
I don't know. I do all that.
The rest of the entire game.
If they put brainwave, like attach my head, put those little synapses they put on people's head, my brain activity is jacked up during the play. I'm telling you, man.
Okay. maybe we can move on. What about so if you're deep wing at the top of the field, Corey, you're like, oh, this is nothing, right? Plays all the way over by the numbers on the other side.
Well, I hope to know. I mean, you just transition from backside to play side, and so, I mean, if I'm at the top of the screen as a deep wing, I'm going to have a pretty wide vision, looking for, the outer rims of the pond, the circle and the pond type of thing, looking for any type of hot flashes it's going to catch my eye. But as it reverses to play side, then I've got to start finding blocks. I got to start finding threats, and my first one would be that the player there at the minus 21. He's coming in to a guy from behind, so I'm looking for, blocks in the back, blindside blocks. That's exact, because I want to see that entire thing set up. And as a deep wing, when you are play side, you go from outside to the inside.
Yeah.
So it's just a simple it's a simple transition, but I mean, the peril that you talk about is there, that we take a play off, and hopefully that's not something that any of us are going to do.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, I like this. Our support from the back judge position, just conceptually, is look as the play changes fields is going this way, whereas from the deep wing, it's more coming in this way. From a coverage, you know what I'm saying? From a
Absolutely.
coverage.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Correct.
Yeah, that's perfect. Love it.
And then it's like, cool. So as and these circles obviously change dynamically with the play, but the perfect thing about all this is when we do this really, really well, right? When we do this really well, we get, and things happen in this area. That's when we have two flags.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And that's okay. I mean, that's good, but we got to approach it from this outside in versus inside out theory. And I know that's very, very fundamental, but that's how disciplined we have to be on these types of plays. Okay. What else would you add relative to just visual mechanics and maybe even like what's going through your mind on this play? Because I can keep editorializing and then you guys chime in. I start to tell myself when the runner cuts back, stay in it, next block, next. I try to get myself in that productive, transitioning mindset. Next block. Where's the next block? Who's cutting, who's peeling back? Who's coming in blindside? Thinking all of the patterns that I know could potentially set up as a result of this play type. Which is the same thing you said, by the way. Okay, cool. What else? You want to get into these fouls or not?
Sure. I think this potential, the first block that we were looking at that Daniel evaluated, that I'm still on the field sitting there like, man, shot through my foot. Golly, I think that's a foul. I don't know. So let's talk about what's going on there. So we have a defender who is dipping his shoulder to attempt to get around a blocker, and we get to this chase position at this point in time right near the 20-yard line. The defender is also in some weird body angle that's causing him to start going down to the ground, and the offensive player is adding some force directly in his back.
I think you broke that down really well.
Of course, everybody's saying, well, is it a foul or not? Well, shoot, excuse me. Sorry. I don't know if it's a foul or not. That's what we have to consider on our own. And those are the things that we have to think about. Did the defender put himself in a poor position on his own? Did the offensive player commit to the block prior to the defender putting himself in a poor position? Did the defender start to stumble and go to the ground prior to being contacted by the offensive player? There's a lot of things that we need to put together to determine if we're going to grab our little yellow hanky and sling it across the field.
Okay. You want me to jump in or no?
Sure. Go ahead, Brandon.
It's a foul. It's a foul.
Yeah, I agree.
We can see. Look, the other angle was really good that showed us the defender achieved a competitive, position that is
That's correct.
advantageous over the blocker. In other words, he beat him. beat this man. And
Yes.
we can see it here too.
Yes.
It would be a little, well, actually on the field, it's more clear because this is a 2D screen. But we can see that the blocker is beat. And I'm very comfortable saying that. So now, direct force in the back, foul.
Yep.
That's how simple that is to me. Now, in real time with one chance, do I get this from whatever position I'm working? If that's my area of responsibility, it all depends on the mechanics we broke down first.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daniel, what about you?
You didn't ask me was it a foul or not, Brandon. You asked me to evaluate the action.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I was doubling down.
Yeah.
But this leads in, this really piggybacks on the discussion we had 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Talking about defining chase. We talked about chase mode.
Yes.
And then
versus
Corey,
chase position. Yeah.
Corey brought up the point that chase position can really become an instantaneous dynamic on the field relative to blockers getting beat by the players they're blocking.
Absolutely.
And I don't. This is not a player turning his back.
No,
blocker.
Absolutely not. No, I was throwing it out there so people could think about, because you have to evaluate that sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. That's a consideration.
Yes.
That's absolutely right in the rule.
Yes.
You can almost bring some basketball officiating into this. The defender beat the guy to a spot.
Yes.
He did. He absolutely did.
And I know that those that are basketball officials, they process that all the time, and that may help them for those that are, cross between basketball and football.
Okay. Yeah. What does the blocker need to do? Take a different angle. So take a different angle, and like you saying, Court, beat him over here and just screen him off. Obviously we got to stay. We can't go below the waist, because if we're moving back toward our goal line, that would potentially be a peel back, block below the waist, peel back block. But we've got to take a different angle. Really, we're taking this angle where we need to take a steeper angle back towards the runner and just provide a screen, to your point.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Next block.
All right. Uh-oh. Okay, we've talked about blindside blocks before, and a technique that we like to see is when the blocker kind of turns.
Yeah.
Turns to, it's at the praise block.
Yeah, that's when they throw both hands up in the air.
Yeah, you didn't turn in time here. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Like, he didn't turn it. He's turned now. So
not only that, Brandon, he's dropping his shoulder a little bit now. He's doing a little bit more than just standing there and absorbing. And this is why I love Corey's discussion on absorbing versus what's the other thing you said, Corey? Delivering. Yeah, he's not absorbing contact at all. He's delivering contact.
Totally agree. He disguises it well, I think.
He tries to.
Not well enough, because I think we called this.
We did. Back judge threw a flag on this.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, if he shielded or screened this player off more looking like this, and I know that's
nothing
perfect.
Yeah.
But then it's not. I mean, he can block like this, put his hands in the air, praise block, screen block. I can't remember all the other synonyms, but that's fine. And I get that they're trying to disguise this, and they're doing. That's good. I mean, that's good. We're going to catch up to them too, but this is a foul.
Yeah. Brandon, you're hot on calling stuff fouls tonight. I love that.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Well, we are enforcing penalties, so.
So we had a question on penalty enforcement. I think that's the question was on penalty enforcement. Casey is asking about enforcement. So where did the run? I didn't notice. Where did the run end? Did the run end beyond or behind the line of scrimmage?
Hey, let's do it. So spot of the foul. Okay, here we go. What's this? What's this right here is our previous spot. I can't remember what position we snapped from. I want to say position 1. Can we just say position 1 for?
There's a new thing called rewind, and you could just go to the beginning of the play.
As you know, when I start drawing arrows, it gets counted. Okay. Football's here. Spot of the foul. Let's just put it at the big line. Big line right here. Good.
Okay. Yep.
Now we have our reference points, right?
Yep.
We have our down indicator. Gosh, I keep calling it a down indicator. That's on my hand. We have our down marker.
Yep.
That's the blue arrow pointing down at the sideline at the 20. The football is the white arrow at the minus 20, 22.
Yeah.
flag is the yellow arrow back at the -15.
Yes.
Okay, so what kind of play was this when the foul occurred?
Running play.
Running play. So where did the run end?
Beyond the neutral zone.
Okay, running play that ends beyond the neutral zone. What's the basic spot?
End of the run.
Circle it.
I know you're gonna put a circle. Hey, I know we'll get the circle.
This is process. Circle it. That's the end of the run. Okay, spot of the foul. Now look, who committed the foul? The team in possession. The offense committed the foul, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Spot of the foul, is it behind or beyond?
Behind.
Clearly behind. Okay, This is a personal foul, which does fit our exception. So spot of the foul by the team in possession is behind the basic spot, enforced from the spot of the foul unless the spot of the foul is behind the neutral zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is a personal foul, it's holding, it's illegal, okay, all that stuff. This is a personal foul. So what becomes our enforcement spot?
Previous spot.
Previous spot, which means if indeed it was position 1, let's go back half the distance from the 20 to the 10 in position 1.
That's correct.
Be very interesting and very difficult to get that right.
Because it's crap all over the field, Brandon. We spread out all over the field. We had everything going on this play.
All over the field. So
that's right.
I just want to make sure we're clear. Previous spot is defined by lateral position as well. So if we throw that previous spot at position 1, spot of the foul is not only behind the basic spot. Spot of the foul is a blocking foul behind the neutral zone. All right. We enforce from the previous spot. That's at position 1. So we got to go all the way back over to the other side of the field from where the flag is, from where the football field is, and mark off half the distance to the goal. Replay the down.
Yep.
If they accept it, by the way, they might decline it.
Yeah, because it could be. Yeah, this could be, and that's important. That is very, very, very important because we kind of drove by that earlier on the 88 different diagrams you drew up, Brandon.
Yes,
but we didn't talk about the result of the play at all. So we have to understand the result of the play. Well, this is first down. We can see. Oh, by the way, Brandon, the down indicator in the industry, we call it the box. So let's just call it the box. Yeah.
Thanks.
So it's one on the box. So it's first down. But we do need to ask the coach, hey, do you want this one or not?
Right. Because it was first and 15.
Yep.
So
now it's second and 13.
You want second and 13 or first and 25?
That's right.
They want first and 25. Okay.
Yes, they do. They want to get back. They want to back that team up. Let's go. So guess what we got here?
Number 2.
No, not camper. Member.
Sorry.
You're getting excited here. Member.
I'm excited.
So thanks to our man, Carwin Shaw for this play. Carwin and I kind of connected earlier this season. And we've been having some really good conversations. Carwin submitted this play. Very interesting play. Daniel, are you back with us? It sounded like you were.
I'm back.
Hey, do we need to put up a collection maybe for you? Did you pay the light bill this week? I don't know what's going on with you.
Well, I don't know. That's my wife's job. Who knows?
Okay.
But I mean, there was hurricane grade winds blow through a minute ago, Tutas. So I don't know if you remember what it's like to live on the Gulf Coast.
I do, and I'm gonna get a little taste of it tomorrow.
Get that stuff out of here.
So Daniel, do you carry 2 bean bags? That's the question I have for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why do you carry 2 bean bags?
I don't know. It's a good question. I think you could also ask, why don't you carry 3? I mean, really and truly, potential to maybe even need 4. I don't know. So we carry 2 bean bags because as back judges, we need to have a bean bag at the post scrimmage the end of the kick.
There you go. All right.
The end of the punt in, because that's the potential to be an enforcement spot for a penalty. And then after that, you could potentially have your returner fumble the ball, and then that could also be an enforcement spot. I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but we could have that, and so we need to have a beanbag down for that also. Also, we could have an illegal touch and then an end of the kick, or an illegal touch, then an end of a kick and a fumble. So, yeah, 2 beanbags, I would say, at minimum for back judges. You never know. No such thing as too many beanbags.
Right. So how do we work a play like this, Daniel? If like, what are we doing here? I mean, this is all kind of. I know. First of all, on punt plays, I used to love being on the sideline. I don't want to be in the middle of the field dealing with this crap.
Yeah. No, I hear you, and I think that's a great point. However, as back judges, we got to find a way to embrace being in the middle of the field and kind of look forward to it, because if we don't, we're going to end up feeling very uncomfortable, and there's a high likelihood we'll end up looking really silly at some point. So here's the thing, just again, basic mechanic principles. When the ball's caught, let's try to be still. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Be able to be in a position where we can get our beanbag close to it. And sometimes we can't, and we're planning on running up there and dropping it. A situation like this, that's not going to work. So we really just want to be, we're pretty good. We're pretty stationary at the time the ball's kicked, but I think we'd be in better shape if we drop that beanbag immediately for whenever the returner possesses the punt. And then we're still okay. It just takes us a little bit to react, I think, to this. We have to be mindful that the goal line is lurking right behind us. And probably, I think ideally, I don't know, I'm really interested to what you and Corey think about at this point in the return, this close to the goal line. Would our deep wings have moved off, or would we prefer them to still kind of really wait for that punt returner to start gaining yardage or momentum upfield before we moved off to the goal line? Because I'm just kind of thinking informally, never working it. Oh, we're way upfield.
Yeah. He started kind of high.
Yeah, that maybe the goal line's a good position for the deep wings to start here and maybe never even move.
I know what Corey's going to say.
Yeah. I mean, we're kicking from the -41 right here. I don't think I'd have any inkling to be on the goal line, but I definitely wouldn't be as shallow as these wings are. I mean, I'm usually 12 to 15 yards behind the returner, so 7 to 8 yards behind where Daniel would be positioned, and that's the whole intent of that, is so that I can see the whole play without moving, unless we have a booming kick or something screwy like this that makes me have to retreat.
Yeah, I used to go 15 minimum.
Yeah.
And Greg Meyer, who I love, he always advocated for us to be as deep as possible. So I would be 15 behind the returner. So if he's on the 10-yard line, there's no way I'm nowhere but the goal line. If he's on the 20, depending on what the wind is, I might be on the goal line.
Yeah,
or the kicker. I don't know.
Once that returner is inside the 20, I typically just go to the goal line, because
exactly.
I never like standing at the 5. I think it goes for a scrimmage play too. If we're snapping from the 30, I go back to the goal line, because what's the point of having to move 15 feet?
Right.
Yeah. So then just back to the back judge, just being mindful that the goal line is right there behind us, and we know once we have possession and now the ball is fumbled, that team A can advance the kick. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing in between the white jerseys and the goal line. So we just got to start moving right now. Like I don't want to get Tuta going on beanbag mechanics, because my goodness, we've all experienced that soapbox. But really what we need to prioritize, because we're going to have a mass of bodies at the goal line, is getting back to the goal line. And so we can just kind of fling that beanbag a little bit, but we don't want to hesitate right there, pause, and then focus our cognitive energy on where the beanbag goes. We want to get back to the goal line. Certainly good to have a beanbag, but that's what we need to prioritize. So that's what I have on this play. This is a really
okay, Daniel. Well, hold on. You ain't done here. You ain't done, Daniel. Hold on. Now the head line judge had a flag on the ground for offensive holding. I'm coming down here, and you got a touchdown. Hey, you got your hands all up in the air, waving them like you just don't care, calling a touchdown. And
golly, that's close to double action.
Exactly. We got all kind of crap going on. And now I'm coming to you, and I'm like, where's the end of the kick? And then you are going to tell me what? Where's the end of the kick, Daniel?
So I'm going to go to my first beanbag that I dropped, and I know it's my first.
No. No. We're going to work the play as presented because you forgot to drop your first one, or you didn't have a chance to, or whatever. What are we going to do now?
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the second beam, or the beanbag I dropped for the fumble, and I'm going to guesstimate. Man, my man, he backtracked about 2 yards. Oh gosh, good. This will be perfect. We'll get to see if I'm right. He backtracked about 2 yards before he fumbled the ball. So let's put the end of the kick 2 yards in advance of where my beanbag is.
Okay, I like that.
So we're at the. Oh, that's pretty good.
It is. It's excellent.
That's
it's
pretty
excellent.
good.
You index other actions to basically piece together the information you need if, in fact, you weren't perfect, I guess, is what I just heard you say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think we do that a lot of the times on the field.
Yeah. What do you mean it's close to double action?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the camera's not down the line. It's 35 yards in the sky and down the field. I can't tell for sure. It looks like he falls down and then crosses the goal line.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, he's short, but I mean, I think that was why you guys want. But I guess what I was going to ask is, you were talking about getting, kind of getting yourself back to the goal line earlier. But if you know that your deep wing crewmates are covering the goal line, do you want to get back to the goal line in this case, or do you just want to give that to them? That was kind of my
No. That's a great question, and I think we can apply that to just scrimmage plays. If I know my deep wings are going to get there or are already there, I'm much more comfortable allowing them just to work that play, because as a back judge, I've just had a lot of events occur in a really short period of time. So I'm kind of in scramble mode. But on a play like this, where the back judge is clearly our best hope at the goal line, I'd want to try to get there, retreat back there, and be the one to pull the trigger.
Okay. I don't know if we answered your penalty enforcement question, Tuta.
No, we didn't.
Well, we kind of did. What I wanted to know was, if we only have one beanbag on the ground, how are we going to figure out where the end of the kick was? Yeah, but we can go. I love where you're going. I love your direction, Brandon, because you've been on your soapbox all day. Let's add some more height to your soapbox.
How is that a soapbox?
Well, you went through 98 scenarios of penalty enforcements on just a simple run play.
I think it passed soapbox and went to crusade level, to be honest.
I brought it back to the deck. Hey, pattern recognition. Look, I know this is slow motion, maybe even choppy, maybe even blurry. This is always short of the goal line. Okay, when they're going down this, I shouldn't say always, but when they're going down like this in the field of play, and then boom, they pop over. Corey, statistics?
Yeah, statistically, with the way that body crumbles straight down, yeah, you're going to be short.
Yeah, and I know it's easy to put it back and forth, but just double action, we're going to start to recognize this. I guess the point from mechanics is it's very hard to rule on this with this angle and this angle.
Yep.
So that's the why, right? Okay. Tuta, what's the foul? I can't remember.
We called OH.
Yeah. That's how you report it? That's good.
Well, you didn't ask me to report it. You asked me, what's the foul?
All right. Okay, so Daniel threw his beanbag. Well, we adjusted his beanbag to the 18.
Yeah. Hey, Brandon, during the kick, holding number 18 receiving team.
Okay. What's the result of the play?
Touchdown.
You look like double action from where I was. 60
well, okay.
Oh, no. He'll say that.
He would.
Exactly. Look like double action to me. Okay.
Okay. So the result of is a touchdown for team A.
That's correct.
Okay, that's the kicking team. And the foul was by the receiving team.
Yeah, so that's easy. Never mind. That's too easy. You don't even need your diagram, Brandon. I disappointed you on that one.
That's all right. But here's the thing. If the result of the play is a touchdown, penalty, declined by rule. There's really no option because it's not a 15-yard penalty.
Okay. That's where you lost me. Okay. You were saying only the foul that we had declined by rule. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yes. What if we call that blindside block that took place? What if we call that on this play?
Yeah.
By the receiving team. Now what?
That's correct. Now that is a personal foul by the opponent of the scoring team, and that can be either enforced on the try or on the subsequent kickoff.
Okay, but wait a second though. It occurred during the kick.
Oh, it was during the kick. You didn't report that, Brandon. You were horrible reporting your foul. You were horrible reporting your foul.
Correct. So now what can we do with that blindside block by the receiving team on this play?
Well, I would hope that we're going to decline it.
No. Still carries over.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. It's a personal foul or unsportsmanlike by the non-scoring team.
On the down.
Exactly.
Not on the run. It's not on the segment
during
of
the
run.
down.
Yes,
during the down.
Yes, during the down. Yeah, you tricked me. I had it right there. You tricked me. You made me question myself.
I know, but that's okay. We
want to. That was cruel and unusual.
But it was smooth too.
It was.
We want to report. We want to get in the habit of reporting the segment of the play, right?
That's right.
The foul occurred, but we do want to know also, referees, put it on yourself and say, "Great job." Oh, it was during the kick. Great, doesn't matter. So now all we have to do is announce, the ruling on the field is a fumble by the receiving team recovered by the kicking team for a touchdown. During the play, personal foul, illegal blindside block, receiving team number 22. The 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
We just got paged, Brandon. We just got paged.
Okay, great. Let's go to replay.
All right. After review, we have indisputable visual evidence that the runner was down prior to the ball breaking the play in the goal line. So we have the ball at the 1 yard line.
Whoa.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, all right. Now let's talk about it.
Okay, now what matters? Exactly what we just said didn't matter.
Yes.
When did the foul
occur? That's right.
Said during the kick. Can you basically bridge a personal foul during the kick to the succeeding spot here?
No.
Why? Because the basic spot for this blindside block that we're creating that occurred during the kick, what's the basic spot? The end of the kick. Okay, it's the end of the kick, but not really. Because why? This doesn't even qualify for PSK. You see what I'm saying? The basic spot is the previous spot.
Correct.
Right, because it doesn't qualify for PSK because Team B is not next to put the ball in play, correct?
Bingo.
So if we start talking about PSK, then we're just wasting our time. All we do is throwing people in the wrong direction.
Exactly. Perfect. So here's where we have erred before on this kind of thing, especially if we get a reversal and replay to a different result of the play.
Yes.
We have erred by trying to find somewhere to enforce this penalty.
That's right.
In reality, if we just follow our process, okay, wait a second. The blindside block occurred during the kick.
That's right.
Does this foul qualify for PSK?
Yep.
No. Therefore, basic spot, previous spot.
That's
so
right.
Now, this would be silly, but if we just carried this out, okay, hey, head coach for the kicking team, do you want to go 15 from the previous spot and get an automatic first down, or do you want the ball at the 1 yard line?
Right.
I mean, we would never do that, but that's literally the options.
Yes.
So the worst thing we could do is enforce it half the distance from the one. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it wouldn't matter that much, but that's just totally incorrect.
Actually, the worst thing we could do is enforce it against Team B.
The worst thing we could do is give the ball to Team B.
Yeah, that's the worst. Exactly. That's the worst thing we could do.
Yeah, give the ball to Team B because we got. Oh my gosh, it's PSK, but so we don't want that, and we definitely don't want to enforce 15 previous and then move them all the way back.
Right.
So really interesting.
Yeah.
You want to go into something that will really get at my heart and pull my heartstrings?
Okay.
Game with instant replay. Since we're on this tonight, game with instant replay. Crazy. Okay, look at, and I know this isn't the greatest quality. Football's right here. Receivers right here. Back judge doing a good job. That's where Daniel would be. I know that. Okay. Here we go. All right. We catch the ball. And we're going. Okay. We fumble. And now we're thinking, let me just play this. Now we're thinking right here, kicking team can advance. Uh-oh. Okay. So we blow the whistle. All right, we blow the whistle right here because we're thinking kicking team can't advance. We know that they can. This is a fumble. It's not a kick. Kicking team can advance this, obviously, because it's a kick. Because it's a fumble.
Yes, it was a running play. It's a fumble, yeah.
If this was a kick, they could not advance this.
That's correct.
Okay, now, so play plays out, right? Play keeps going as normal. And we rule whatever – well, it doesn't matter what we rule. We've already blown the whistle. The line judge comes in and says, not sure what you guys are worried about down here and all these whistles, but I've got an illegal blindside block on the receiving team. Okay. It was during the kick. No, let's do it this way. This one was during the run. He reports it after the punt returner caught the kick. I have an illegal blindside block on the receiver team. So now what do we do? Because what we really have is one of those things that we don't ever talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we get? But what are we going to do with this? I mean, we've got a penalty, right? So we've got to figure out what to do with it. So how do we process that?
So you talk about immediate continuing action, but the penalty was on the receiving team. And in the immediate continuing action, we have the kicking team recovering you call it a fumble or a kick? I got lost.
That's okay. We recovered the fumble and we blew the whistle then.
Because we thought it was a kick.
Because we thought it was a kick.
Okay, so we have the kicking team in possession of the ball with a foul hanging by the receiving team during the kick.
So we blew the whistle right here.
Yes.
Kicking team has the ball at the 16.
That's correct.
Receiving team committed a foul before he recovered the ball, but after the end of the kick. So during the run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So what options would we give who?
I'm interested to hear where you're going with this one.
It's all good. It's all good. So who's in possession of the ball at the time the whistle's blown? Kicking team. Who's the foul on?
Receiving team.
This one's pretty easy. We just want to make sure we enforce this correctly. So, the basic spot for the blindside block, if it occurred before this recovery, the basic spot would be the spot of the fumble, the end of the related run. But Team A would never want that because that would fall back to Team B.
That's correct.
Spot of the foul is in advance of the basic spot. Enforce the penalty from the basic spot. And since the foul occurred with Team B in possession, by rule, the ball would be returned to Team B. Well, they wouldn't want that. So now they want to decline the penalty. So now what options do they have? If we go by strict inadvertent whistle rules.
Oh, boy.
Now what options do we have? Who's in possession?
Team A.
Team A is in possession. Their options are what?
Replay the down, accept the results of the play when the whistle was blown.
Yep.
If they accept the penalty, then it cancels their ability to get possession of the ball.
The inadvertent whistle is ignored completely. So if they accept the penalty, that's all ignored. And we would get into the wrong outcome that we just said.
Exactly. We don't want that.
Team A is going to take the ball right here. Yes. And they're not going to be happy because they think they've scored a touchdown. But, okay, it is what it is. Do you want another one or are we done?
Brendan, what's going on with you today? Are you okay? Do we need to bring you to counseling or something? You're a little excited today.
I know. This is awesome.
Yeah. Some of us have to pack. I don't know about you, but some of us haven't packed.
Yep.
You don't like my scenarios.
No, I love them. Let's go.
The interesting thing is, I've been through them.
I know.
Yeah.
And they all happen on these damn kicking plays too.
Yeah.
And we just screw them up constantly.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Come on, let's go. What else you got?
Well, I gotta create it now. I'm not sure. Okay, let's do this one. So we're returning the football. Daniel's got his beanbag down at the wrong spot.
Which one? Which beanbag? He only has one.
Yeah.
Okay. Daniel only has one.
All right.
Only got one.
All right. For whatever reason, ball out. Whistle.
Whoa! Wait, we're whistling with the ball right there?
Yeah,
Come on, Daniel.
God,
Come
I
on,
wish-
Daniel.
I'd prefer if we not put them on
Somebody
me.
saw a signal.
Come on, Daniel. Golly, man.
Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable.
So we've killed the play.
Yep.
Ball's out.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Blindside block is reported. Now,
During what?
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It matters
because the ball is loose.
Yeah.
it matters to the enforcement, but since Team A never got the ball,
Yeah.
it really doesn't matter. Now,
It
what is a problem is, well, no, that's not true. Team A has the option here, even though Team B is in team possession when the whistle is blown.
That's right.
The foul trumps. Okay, the foul trumps the whistle. So Team A can enforce the penalty, whether it's during the kick or during the return, doesn't matter. I mean, they can enforce the penalty, and then
That's
it's going to be Team B's ball as that result.
That's right.
If Team A says, let's make this a little more interesting. Let's decline the penalty and see what happens next, because it's either going to be, well, that would be a very smart, interesting, coach who really knows the rules. Although I'm not sure that would be advantageous to his team. Okay, they decline the penalty. Now Team B has the option as a result of the whistle. They can take the ball at the spot where they fumbled, or replay the down.
Replay the down, exactly.
Unless the game is played with instant replay. What's this? What's this?
Recovery in the immediate continuing action.
That is a recovery in the immediate continuing action. Whistle, ignored.
Ignored. That's correct.
Completely ignore the whistle. Play is dead. Play is certainly dead, as if it was our first example. Whistle is ignored. Right? Now we have the foul. Okay, wait a second. During the kick, there was a blindside block by the receiving team. Here is the trick. Does that qualify for PSK or not? In this specific scenario, whistle was blown while the ball was loose. Recovery in the immediate continuing action. Do we enforce the Team B blindside block as PSK or not?
I would say, what is this, before or after review? This is after review, obviously.
So
then I would have to say no.
Yeah. We do not.
You can't, because then Team B is not going to be putting the ball in play next.
Correct. We honor the immediate recovery in the immediate continuing or whatever.
As if that was the result of the play.
Yes, and actually,
That's
we would like to have that as our ruling on the field, even though we blew the whistle early.
That's correct.
Whistle, we get to a ruling on the field that Team A recovered the fumble.
That's correct.
Now that we know that, okay, Team B's blindside block during the kick does not qualify for PSK.
That's
Team
right.
A can only enforce that from the previous spot. Well, they're not going to do that. Decline the penalty, give the ball to Team A at where the arrow is.
That's correct. And then Daniel is going to have some splaining to do in the locker room. We're really going to have some come to Jesus moment in the locker room with Daniel.
Yep. So, it takes very little effort to really just break plays down like this, right? I mean, you can go 6 different ways on 6 different aspects.
Yes.
Or almost every single play, if we just want to be honest. We talked positioning. We talked. What did we all do? Let's just look at this play.
Yep.
Positioning.
Yep.
Beanbag mechanics.
Beanbag mechanics. Yep.
Foul reporting.
Potential foul recognition of the illegal blindside block.
The concept of double action.
Double action.
We talked about.
Positioning, mechanics positioning with the deep officials. Yeah. Where are they on the goal line? Are they not on the goal line? Yep.
What the back judge should realize, should he cover the goal line or not, based on his preparation with his deep wing partners.
That's right.
Then we got on this crazy penalty enforcement thing with a million different scenarios.
Yeah.
But so it's like, what's the so what? I mean, who cares? Like, what are we trying to prove? Absolutely nothing. We're trying to prove nothing other than the fact that we have to know all these rules. And if we don't take the time now to study it, we have no chance on the field. It's way too complicated.
It is.
It's way too complicated.
It is.
You know what I mean? Way too complicated.
Especially with all of the extenuating circumstances and all of the other environmental factors that we need to consider. It is no way to really like bring this from the annals of your brain at that moment, at an instantaneous moment, to be able to figure this out. You got to know it before you get out there.
All right. You guys ready?
Yeah, I think that's a proper warm up.
Corey, have you packed? I mean, am I the only one who hasn't even like found my? I don't even know what my suitcase is.
Are you bringing your uniform? Serious question.
I might. I'm serious. I might, because you talked about that, but I might. I'm not joking. I would love to just sneak on the field and get some snaps in.
I'll bring mine too.
I'm not bringing my uniform.
I'm not bringing my uniform. No.
That'd be stupid.
Oh, really?
What you gonna do with your uniform, Brandon? Come on.
If you bring your uniform. If you bring your uniform, bring your paycheck, your checkbook, because
that's right.
Yep.
Oh wow, that was an interesting term. No, if I bring my uniform, put my microphone on. That's what I'm doing. Hey, thanks so much for putting up with me. We need to wait. Stop, Brandon. Hold on, time out. Everyone who's still on, please accept our apologies for Brandon Cruz. We have to deal with this on a daily basis. You all get to have to deal with this and endure this on a weekly basis. So we sincerely apologize. Hopefully you all got something out of this Brandon Cruz crusade. I love what you said there, Corey. Right. Hashtag crusade next session.
Yeah.
I will see you guys in New Orleans, and I'll see everybody else right here next Tuesday. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, guys. Awesome job.